Recording.
And here she is. 2016 Kawasaki Z1000 right here. This is my baby. I've had her for about 4 months now. Put a Black Widow exhaust on it. Wrapped it white. Threw on some decals. Side mirrors. Nothing too crazy. This bike has absolutely blown my mind. It goes from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's faster than the Power and Golly. It's faster than the H2. That's faster than the Super Duke 1290R. That is very fucking fast. And you can feel it. I'm basically bragging I love this bike so fucking much. Let's listen to it. What does she sound like with this exhaust on? I keep the DB killers in, sadly, because I'd like to not be an asshole to my neighbors. Here we go with it. Yeah. I love it. Let's do some speed runs. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're out here. Oh, that's probably super windy. We are out here in Irving, abandoned parking lot. Here we go. Oh, it's just a bump. All right. 3, 2, 1, Go. Oh, baby. Oh, yes. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Wait, let's hear it. All right. 3, 2, 1. That was bad. Let's do it again. Oh, yes. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. I missed my shift. Let's do it again. We missed our shift. That's a yikes, right? Yeah, that would be embarrassing if I was actually recording. All right, here we go. 3. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo, that was fast. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. We're getting the front wheel up just a little bit. All right. 3. Actually, let's try to shift around 10K, see what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! That was way better. Oh yeah, we shifted way better that time. Let's do it again. Three, 2, 1, go. Alright. I short shifted again that time. Here we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Front wheel came up a little bit too high that time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that was so bad. That was terrible. All right, let's do it. Let's start over. Could feel my clutch not coming out at the right time. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! All right, that one was pretty good. Let's do one last one. All right, for the boys. 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! Oh, this is the shitty tarmac. Let's go to the good stuff. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, after that very, very exciting rough and tumble, let's go back up to the top and take one last look at her. Oh my goodness. Alright. I'm treating my poor baby like shit. I'm redlining the snot out of her. Alright. I actually love this bike. I feel so bad doing this. But I did want to test it out. So first gear tops out in 62, it seems. Which is kind of surprising. You'd think it would be higher for 1000cc, but I guess not. But yeah, she is one sexy beast. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable, unbeatable, uncontestable. Just kidding. There's lots of bikes that are faster than H2 SXE or whatever the fuck. That bike's faster. But I will say, doesn't make your jaw drop like this bitch. Slap in the butt. Alright. Pretend like you didn't see that. I am going to get a haircut right now. Alright, let's get into the details here though. So, I bought this bike for around $6,700 with 8,000 miles on it in Texas, which some people might say is a pretty terrible deal. And to be honest, it kind of is. This is a 5-year-old bike. And it didn't really have any mods, except for the mirrors. The guy did the mirrors before. With 8K miles on it. However, the Z1000 has been discontinued in the US. Ooh, gotta dodge that one. And since it was discontinued, of course, it rose in popularity, and now everybody wants one. And now the prices for all of them have been just so inflated. Is this the way? Oh, I'm doing a UE again, aren't I? They've been so inflated. I saw a 2016, about 2,000 miles on it for 10 grand. 10 grand. That's like barely depreciated from the MSRP 5 years later. Oh, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Alright, we're gonna do some more casual riding here. Not so crazy. But yeah, they were discontinued, I believe, in 2016 in the US. Why? I don't know. I guess they knew that they were going to be making the Z900, and they knew that that was going to be a cannibal of this bikes, and they opted to go with the Z900, which is, in my opinion, is quite sad because it just doesn't look as good. It makes more sense with the electronics package and blah 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 blah, and it's almost as fast as the Z1000. It's just like marginally slower by like almost nothing. Woo. But yeah, they called it quits on this puppy for the Z900. And the ZH2SXE or something with the supercharger is also the replacement for this bike. But I don't know what Kawasaki was doing with the trellis frame they made. In my opinion, it's just kind of ugly. Like the trellis frame on Ducati? Hell yeah. Get behind it. Slobber. Drool. Yes. Trellis frame on Kawasaki? I mean, it just doesn't really make sense with their style. Like they're like super futuristic, cutting edge style with a trellis frame. I mean, it might not even be a trellis frame. It just appears that way. And it just doesn't look good. Just ugly. And then the other thing is the headlights. For some reason they decided to do away with the Predator style headlights. The two LEDs in front. Right? That's like sexy as hell. The R1s from 2008, 2009 had that shit, and my god, panty droppers. Right? Everybody sees them, everybody knows them. Very identifiable bikes. Super unique. Nobody was doing that at the time. This bike also does that. Of course, the R1s have exposed bulbs, so there's not actually like plastic in front of them, which is even more crazy. Kawasaki's kind of close with that, but they do have the plastic in front. But it's the style that I'm referring to with the Predator headlights that I'm really sad they kind of just stopped doing. I think it looks fucking awesome. And everybody I know likes it, so they're clearly not making bikes for the US market anymore. I'm not really sure who they're considering, but it's not us. But the only complaint I have about this bike, the only complaint is the transmission, right? Everything else, it's super comfortable. It's not exactly flippable because it's got a weirdly wide rear tire, the 190, and the chassis is like quite stiff. But the transmission's bad because neutral is almost non-existent. I swear to God, I have amazing eye-hand coordination, and I am very precise. I like fucking play piano and shit. And I can't hit it, man. At red lights, I'll go straight through it. It is so brutally hard to get to neutral. First complaint. Second complaint, the transmission doesn't have like a, this is also connected to the neutral thing, doesn't have like a strong thunk or click or indication that it has actually arrived at a gear, which is exacerbated by the fact that the stock exhaust is quite quiet. So the exhaust note can tell you if you raised a gear, right? And it's quite hard to hear that with the stock exhaust. But that's, I think, a standard in most super sports, where it'll just fly through gears really quickly because it's got a slipper clutch. However, it was coming from an MC09, which did not have that feeling. It had a really obvious clunk, not clunk. Clunk's not the right word. I'm looking for more like just a click, or just something where it falls into place. You know what I'm talking about. And the MC09 had that. This bike has got a more super sport feeling transmission where it just slips, it slides through all the gears. So it's just not a good feeling for me. I don't know. It makes more sense if you had that kind of clutch or that transmission on the track, because you could just up, down, up, down, up, down constantly with very little resistance, right? But I'm never going to go to the track because I don't care. I ride this bike daily to and from work just to have a good time. I'm a daily driver, always have been. Got my first bike, college, just to commute. Still got a bike just to commute, although I've been through a couple now. But I will say the acceleration on this thing is totally underrated because it's so linear. It is so linear. However, it's also really unique in that it's geared very, very short. So I guess it is kind of like a classic Japanese naked sport bike, right? Where they have a powerful engine and they compress all of the horsepower into short gears, which means that you get access to a lot of the horsepower and a lot of the rev range, but the top end is just it's really not there, right? I think this bike caps out at like 156 miles an hour, whereas the ZX10R is fucking like 190, right? It's a huge difference. But you get to 60 much faster on this bike than you do on the ZX10R, which is so strange to me that people just don't seem to realize that. People don't seem to understand that this bike is faster than a super sport when it matters, which is from 0 to 60. Because, I mean, who the fuck's driving a ZX6 Star every day to work, right? ZX10R. However, the torque for this bike, if you're in a higher gear, is really quite pathetic, right? So the torque curve is really interesting in that it only applies really to when you're at a certain RPM. I guess it's like that with every torque curve, right? But for this bike specifically, it only comes on at around 5,000 RPM. 4 to 5, right? And you feel your face being ripped off at that RPM, but between 1, 2, 3, it is quite low. So it comes on before Super Sport, but not that far before. So the Super Duke 1290R, I was just reading, torque comes on between 2 and 3. Which is fucking brutally insane, but they have, I believe that's a V-twin. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's a V-twin. And that's why, right? Those operate quite differently. So how Kawasaki was able to make it run like it does is you know, they're using an i4, which generally revs really high. All they had to do was just tune it differently and then change the gears. So it is a very fun riding experience around town. And the best thing is, it also goes on the highway. Only problem is, anything above 80, you do get some wind feel. However, I've noticed that somehow this headlight actually does deflect the wind, which is very weird. I did not expect it. Like, it goes off the headlight onto this little unit here, and it gets onto my chest, which is nice because the lower body is pretty spared from the wind. I absolutely did not expect that. And the seat, like I said, super comfortable. The ergonomics are just, they're so good. I hated sitting on top of the MT-09 instead of sitting in it. This bike, I'm literally just part of the bike. I'm like in the saddle. And my feet fit on the ground. So naturally, the body position slightly leaned forward, which is great for my shoulders. I got so much shoulder pain from the MT-09. My rotator cuff has like lots of small tears on it because of that bike, which I'm sure is very surprising to a lot of people because it's known as upright sitting position is so comfy. Which is true, but not for everyone, right? I think I have short arms, and short legs, so I'm a fucking weird shaped person. But it pulled my arms back, no matter what I did. Like, I moved forward, I moved backward, I arched my back, I didn't arch my back, I hugged with a tank. Nothing I did worked. Everything hurt my shoulders. Oh, you bitch. You were doing the thing that I was going to do. Whatever. Now, if you go slower than that guy, I'm going to be pissed. Isn't that the number one menace to society? When there's someone in front of you, and they move to the empty lane, and they go slower than the guy that was in the lane in front of them. That is truly the cancer of society. And I would love to pull those people out of their cars violently onto the ground and show them the barrel end of a 45 caliber 1911. That is really violent, Aaron. You know, I have some pretty bad thoughts sometimes, and that might be one of them. Alright, Mr. Camry. I expect to not have to point my 1911 at you. Where are you going? Oh, you're gonna make me point it? Brutal. They're doing it, see? That's... Why, dude? See, okay, he was right behind this guy over here, and if he had just stayed there, he would have been in the same exact position. Yay, look, now I'm in front of the Camry. Woo! I have one car faster. Anyways, I won't say this bike has anything really special going for it, because there's a million naked super sports. At the end of the day, it's just a fast naked bike that has fucking bitchin' styling, right? The electronics package is quite sad. It's just ABS. And that's it. It doesn't even have a shift indicator. So I don't know what gear I'm in. I mean, you could take a guess. I'm probably in 4th right now. Quite sure I'm in 4th. But yeah, isn't that sad, right? You think a bike from 2016 would be able to tell you, the driver, what gear it's in? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm in fourth. Yeah, I'm always just pretty sure. Unless it's first or second, or neutral. At least it has a fuel indicator. You know, without the shifter indicator, you'd be like, oh fuck, what else is missing? But no, it does have the fuel indicator. Has the MPG, which is weird. No shifter, but it's got the MPG. And that's just about it, right? There's not really anything else going on with this bike. But personally, I love that. I love bikes that don't have too much shit going on. I love bikes that have stiff suspensions. I don't like, yeah, when I originally discovered how squishy the MC09 was that I was riding, that was kind of a bummer because I should have done more research and decided, you know, what I like, what I don't like. I mean, I still love the fuck out of that bike, but that suspension was pretty rough. I tuned it as well as I possibly could for my 170-pound body. But yeah, she just wallowed in them curves. Are just like, whoa, up and down, up and down, up and down. And everyone was like, oh man, I'm killing it in the curves with this MT09. You're just lying to yourself, man. Any super sport could smoke your ass any day of the week. I'm sure you're a talented rider, because you have to work way harder on those bikes to ride them well. It is, I will admit, it's a very flickable bike just because of the, that was a brutal rev match. It's because of the weight and the way you sit on it, right? The way the weight's distributed and the rear tire size. It's 180, but that's still kind of a pretty big tire. I mean, at the end of the day, they're actually quite similar. Wow, the guy he didn't take it. Look at that. He decided not to. Oh, I'm just gonna chill. But, so, we have brutal acceleration if desired. Torque comes on about 4 or 5K, mostly 5K. Horsepower, doesn't actually matter too much, just because it's so concentrated in the first 60 miles. I mean, she'll still get up to 80 miles an hour very quickly. But after 80 miles an hour, like, it's not actually that fast. They don't have a stop sign, so I'm the only one with a stop sign. This is a weird path that I'm taking. I can't, man. There's another guy there. I will say it is just a breeze to ride this bike, though. Wow, that was quite the bump. See right there? I was in second. I was at 2K RPM. And I pulled the throttle on pretty heavily, and I didn't feel a lot of power. It's because I did not shift at the right time. That was not optimal shifting. That was city driving shifting. And if I'm being completely honest, The main reason I got this bike is because I think it's just so beautiful. Just tugs at my little heartstrings. It's got the front end that's somewhat similar to a second generation MT-09, right? I actually settled on the MT-09 instead of getting one of these, which is what I really wanted to do. And I love that bike because it actually sounds better than this one. I mean, I love the i4 sound because it's like aggressive, angry, but it's not really that unique. And it doesn't have too much like pitch variation, right? Oh, but good God, that parallel twin. You guys are just gonna chill, huh? Dude, what is this path I am being told to take right now? Go around that. Yeah, this is also, to me, the ideal commuter bike, simply because it is a Japanese-made inline four that is known for good reliability, minus some issues with the transmission, right? That's why I had the Yamaha. That's why I'm not really going to buy anything that's not Japanese, because I drive every day. I like to work on my own machines when I can. I like to do all the basic shit. And they make that very easy for me, because they're simple machines. Got a whole bunch of gadgetry, a whole bunch of electronics. And they're naked, so they'll have to pull off all the fairings. My first bike, the GS500EF, had fairings, and I certainly hated that. Certainly. Oh, want to do anything? 10 minutes, at least, and you're going to lose all your nuts and bolts. Yeah, pretty not fun. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, how could you go wrong with this, right? Many people have gone over 100,000 with these bikes. And also, this is going to be the last bike I buy for a very long time. Many years. So, I wanted to get something that would last me a long time. You can get a Ducati or whatever if you're a weekend rider. Just because you won't put too many miles on there. So you don't have to really worry too much about taking it in and get fixed with all this bullshit, right? And the service intervals are, I believe, much shorter on those bikes. Service intervals on these, I think, is like the first, so you got the 500 miler, you got a 4,000 miler, and then the next thing is like a 15,000 miler, and you're just supposed to do some basic stuff in between that. And then after that, it's like a 40,000. You're supposed to replace some stuff there, but it's really quite easy. And you just change out tires in between. So. There's not really any other smart other option. Unless you're just emotionally attached to an object, like you just have to have your Ducati. I gotta get that Aprilia, that RSV4, and then you daily drive it and you realize, holy shit, this was such a bad decision. But your heart bought it, not your brain. I don't know, this guy, I don't know what he's doing. Okay. This may have been the most interesting way of getting to a business that I've ever done. Oh, there she is. Well, I've reached my destination, fellas. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. We did some fun stuff today. We'll be doing some... Oh, okay. Fun stuff pretty soon again, I'm sure. I plan to make more of these videos. I wanted to introduce my bike today, talk about it all day. Basically let you know what I did to it. I'll be talking about... I usually just ramble, you know. Today I had a little bit more focused conversation. Of course, I did do some rambling. But, let me know if you have any questions. I am more than happy to answer. If I do say so myself, I am a nice fella. Alright. Talk to you later.